Hello and welcome to Cerulean Arts Gallery and Studio. My name is Michael Kobuz, and tonight we're speaking with Lee Muslin in conjunction with her Cerulean Arts Collective Exhibition, which is on view October 11th to November 5th, 2023. Hello, Lee.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
So we're going to take a look at your show. Let me just spotlight Tina's video. Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your show.
Okay. I have been an artist forever, pretty much, but I've done all kinds of different art. I've been painting for, I would say, about the last 13 years, and I'm really enjoying paint. I like to build a lot of layers and get transparency so you can see from one layer to the next. I started out pretty much totally abstract, but lately I have been leaning more into the abstract landscape. And these are not, actual places. They are places that develop as I'm painting. I pretty much start out the same way I do as a totally abstract painting, with marks and just putting down colors and shapes. But then at some point, I'll start making decisions about, where to add a horizon line or something that will make it seem more like a landscape. And that is, I think we all have a connection to the land and to nature. It's very calming to be in nature. And I like that calm feeling, even though there's a lot of activity underneath the paint. I like that calm exterior on the top to bring you into that that land of peacefulness.
So you mentioned that did you say painting for 13 years?
Yes, I believe 13 years. Yes.
But you've been making art forever. So what were you doing
Yes.
before?
Okay. I started out as a fine art major at the University of Delaware,
Hmm.
and did that for 2 years. Then I moved to New York, and there I kind of more got into photography. I and at some point I did actually go back to school and got a degree in photography from Parsons School of Design. So because I was in New York and not much room for a studio, photography just seemed like a natural fit for me. And
Hmm.
even with that, I'm always evolving. My work is always evolving. And I started out with straight black and white street photography. Then I went into color photography. Then when I was going to school, we learned the digital imaging with Photoshop. So I started combining my photographs, making digital photo montages, and they actually were mostly all nature based or landscape based.
Hmm. So you
So
feel it's influenced your current art?
yes, definitely, definitely. I think there is this thread running through everything. So
So these
yeah.
works that we're seeing right now are a little bit different. They're like smaller collage.
Yes, they are collages. And in my stepping between photography and painting, I actually started doing collage. In fact, I was using my photography in collage and with paint. And then that sort of progressed to doing just straight collage again, they were more abstract. Uh, but I really enjoy collage. It's kind of nice and relaxing. I do just small collages normally. You could put them together. You could try different papers, and just it's a quicker process than painting. So if I just need a feel a need to get a little art done, it's just easy to pick up some of my papers. I have a whole flat files full of papers, mostly self-made papers that I've made in different ways with paint, and then some found papers I add also. So it's nice. I enjoy the collage a lot, but I haven't really incorporated collage that much in my larger paintings. I do occasionally, but mostly I haven't. And I always want to, but I just haven't gotten there yet.
Hmm.
because I just love the texture that the paper can bring to the painting.
So it's like primarily cut paper, collage, and paint, right?
Yes, yes. And they're really the ones you were just showing are really just pretty much collage. But
Mm,
the paint comes in because I did create them with acrylic paint.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you tackle a piece,
Mm-hmm.
how do you approach it? Do you have an idea? Are you working from drawings or an image, or are you working intuitively? How does it
Yes,
work?
yes, it's all intuitive. I do not have any reference at all. And as I stated before, I pretty much start out like any abstract painting, just making marks and paint all over whatever the substrate is. And then I'll lead it into an abstract, I mean, a landscape at some point.
That seems like it could be a scary process, just facing a blank sheet or
Uh,
canvas.
Never for me. I love it. I love painting, and I just love I know I hear that from a lot of artists, facing the blank canvas.
Hmm.
It's not scary to me at all. And like I said, I start off really with play, very free with play, just making marks. I usually start with mark making. So then once you start making marks, you have something to respond to. So it's not scary at all for me.
So when you say marks, is it
Mhm.
lines or like
Yeah,
areas of paint?
mostly lines. Yeah, lines. I'll use charcoal, or I have a lot of different things I use. Art craft, tailor's chalk, uh, charcoal, woody pencils, Posca pens, which are acrylic pens.
Hmm.
All whatever I can get my hands on that will make a line. And I like to do thin lines, thick lines, different kind of lines all over the canvas.
And are you working on like multiple pieces at the same time?
Yes, always. I'd say 95% of the time I'm working on more. These four that you're showing and the four on the next wall, on the other wall across, were actually all worked on at the same time. All eight were worked on at the same time. In fact, I think I had a few more. It was actually even more than eight. And those I finished when I was in Santa Fe this summer.
Ah,
And I actually finished those in Santa Fe. And that's why, and I was influenced by Santa Fe. I actually had two visits to Santa Fe, one in July and one in August. I started these in between at home, and then I took them to Santa Fe the second time and finished them up there. So I was very influenced by the Southwestern colors.
yes, it has a lot of warm tones.
Yes, yes, definitely, which is not my usual color palette. I'm usually
Mhm.
more into blues.
Yeah, the ones we're looking at now that seem to be more representative of the
Right, right,
colors.
exactly.
So the place you're in definitely influences your art making.
Definitely. And even sometimes the clothes you're wearing, I've noticed sometimes when I'm in the studio that I'm painting the colors that are in whatever I'm wearing.
Oh, how about that? And you, in your statement, you mentioned listening to music while you paint.
Yes, yes, I always listen to music, and that helps create a rhythm and a movement through the painting. And also, and even in the landscapes, I like to have a rhythm going on. That one in particular has that rhythm of the lines going across.
Hmm.
Yeah, movement is one of my main things I like to achieve in my painting. So even though it's a landscape and it could be calm, it still can have movement in it.
Yeah, they definitely have that,
Yes,
like a rhythmic quality.
right.
And are you working on these like over a period of time, like you're adding layers and then contemplating and then leaving them and coming back, or?
Yes, I do that sometimes. Mostly I'll finish what I'm working on, but again, it could be several, even the larger pieces. It could be two or three at the same time.
Mhm.
So, and you'll work more on one or more on another, depending on how it's going. If you start getting a little stale on one, then you could go to another one
Right,
and then come
right.
back fresh to the older one.
Hmm. So do you have to have everything sort of set up then to paint like this, like all your colors laid out in advance and ready to go so you can be direct?
Yes, yes. I usually set up my color palette in the beginning when I'm first starting. I'll set up a color palette, and that doesn't mean I won't vary from that, but I will set it up first so that I have something to start with. And I could add other colors along the line.
And it's acrylic for
Acrylic paint, Yes, I love acrylic paint because of its quick drying qualities, because I love to build a lot of layers and I don't want to wait for the oil to dry in an oil painting.
Mhm. Yeah, these are more of the Southwest
Right,
group.
right, exactly.
Yeah, they definitely have the landscape
Yes.
feel to them.
Hmm. And that one is not as much of the Southwest colors, but I still include it in the series because I did finish it up there in Santa Fe.
Mhm.
You don't see too much water in Santa Fe. That big blue area reminds me of water.
Mhm.
And the great thing about it being an abstract landscape and not working from any reference is that you can use any color you want. Not that you couldn't do that with a reference photo. I guess you could do that too. But I love to be able to just play with the color too and just use all different colors. If I want a yellow sky, I can have a yellow sky.
Right. Yeah, sometimes the photograph pins you down too much.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And the color's never right anyway.
Right, never exactly.
Especially.
Unless I guess there are people who do really photorealistic
Hmm.
things, but yes, I'd rather be able to make up my own my own world.
Hmm.
And I always feel that any experiences you've had in your life do come through in your painting. So these could be memories of past places that I've been. I used to travel a fair amount, not a lot, but a fair amount, mostly within the United States. So I've been pretty much all over the country. And who knows what sparked any ideas?
Right. I guess it's all sort of bubbling inside.
Right, exactly.
It comes out,
Yep,
you know, whether we are aware of it or not.
right.
So these ones are a little different that are
Yes, they
outside.
are. Yeah, this actually started out as an exercise of uh, making, not necessarily a landscape, but making a painting with diagonals rocking back and forth through the painting. And I love that idea again of the movement of the diagonals. So I just decided to take that and turn them into landscapes. But I wanted to keep that diagonal rocking movement going through them.
Yeah, it seems like it could be like either like a terraced landscape or you're
Mhm.
looking down over a plain or a field or something, but then it's not like exactly like that. It could be pieced together. So I think the two things, the abstract and the landscape, butt up against each other here,
Right, right.
especially when you have the strong, like geometric, like almost flat color
Mm,
shapes.
feel to it, yes. Yes, and then those lines that go through are totally against the parts of the panels of color.
Mhm. Yeah, they're very dynamic.
Hmm.
So are these the latest things that you were doing for the show?
They are those and the collages. The collages were the latest, and this basically, I guess you consider as collage also, because that is tape going through the paintings.
Right. So some
Tape
of the,
painted, yes. So
yeah,
that's basically, I guess you could consider that a collage as well.
right. So some of the collage elements are seeping into your painting.
Yes. We'll see if that continues.
Uh-huh. Right. To be
I
continued.
do really like it, but I just sometimes just don't think to, especially when I'm working large, don't think to put collage in. Plus, I have most of my collage materials at home, and when I'm painting large, I'm painting in the studio. So it's
Right. Whatever's at hand.
worlds,
Mhm.
two separate worlds.
Right. So you're mainly doing the collages at home because,
Yes,
and they tend to be smaller, right?
right, right.
Well, it's good to have something to work on in every spot you are.
Right. Yeah, no, I like that because, sometimes I just can't get into the studio for one reason or another.
Right.
And I'll have something that I could just work on for an hour if I want. And I have all my papers at home too. Like I said, I have this big flat files full of papers. So it's all right there.
Mhm.
And I have a table to work on. So it's a separate studio that I have in my house as well.
Well, that's great. It's a wonderful show. Thank you so much, Lee.
Well, thank you so much. You and Tina do a great job as always. I really appreciate the curation. You always do a wonderful job.
Well, thank you. It's our pleasure. And the show is up through November 5th. So
Yes,
hoping everybody can come down and check it out.
yes, definitely. That would be great.
All right. Well, thanks again and have a good night.
Okay, you too.